Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing, Inc.
The Barbados economy to experience negative growth this year. That's our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Wednesday, October 31. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Nicole Best. Good evening. The Central Bank of Barbados says the island will experience negative growth of 0.25 to 0.75% this year. Central Bank Governor Cleviston Haynes made the disclosure on Wednesday as he presented a review of the country's economic performance for the first 9 months of the year. He said government's adjustment efforts are expected to dampen economic activity.
The bank now expects negative growth of 0.25% to 0.75% for 2018. Output in 2019 is forecast to be in the range of 0.5% to 1%, but the actual outcome will be influenced by the speed with which new investments, particularly in the private sector, occur. These have the potential to absorb some of the labor that government is shedding. In addition, the 2019 English cricket tour is anticipated to boost activity at the same time as the emerging medical education sector gains root. Increased airlift out of the United States creates the potential for a strong uptick in activity.
Haynes said there could be a reduction in the inflation rate due to the removal of the National Social Responsibility Levy, the NSRL, but he said that could be threatened by volatile global oil prices.
Given the elimination of the NSRL, the inflation rate is expected to fall. The current forecast for 2018 and 2019 is now 4.3% and 2.7% respectively. However, volatile oil prices remain a threat to the trajectory of the inflation rate. This positive outlook requires the effort and commitment of all stakeholders to ensure that planned reforms achieve their intended goals.
Jamaica's tourism officials are defending the destination in the face of a scathing international news report that has painted hotels in the island as dangerous. The article was graphic in detailing dozens of alleged sexual offenses committed against American women, with some of the perpetrators being hotel workers. TVJ's Herman Green has that story.
The report in the United States online newspaper USA Today grimly recounted the experiences of several female tourists who were allegedly raped while vacationing in Jamaica. And like a stake to the heart of the tourism industry, it detailed that the incidents happened inside gated, all-inclusive 5-star hotels. Among the victims, a 17-year-old girl allegedly gang-raped by lifeguards in a laundry room. We asked Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett about the ministry's view of the article.
Well, we saw the report, which you indicated was over a 7-year period. And we knew of some of the incidents, of course, and they were all dealt with, as you have seen.
However, the USA Today article does not agree with Mr. Bartlett's assertion that they have been dealt with. In fact, the article questions the ability of the Jamaica Constabulary Force to handle the cases, quoting the State Department saying that reporting crime is an archaic, confusing and lengthy process widely believed to be a waste of time. But in spite of the damning allegations, Mr. Bartlett says it's no major threat to the tourism product.
We had 28 million Americans coming over that 7-year period, 74% of whom are women. And the repeat business for tourists from America and is 42%. That speaks volumes for the destination in terms of safety and security for our women. So we recognize that from time to time incidences like these may very well occur. Our job is to make sure that they are dealt with and that they are dealt with severely and seriously.
The article also indicated that some victims have taken local hotels, including Sandals Resort International, to court for the sexual assaults. In response to a request for an interview, Sandals issued a statement saying they have protocols in place across resorts and specific security measures in place at each resort to ensure guest safety. It also said they conduct background checks on employees, conduct extensive training on appropriate guest interactions, and have a zero-tolerance policy for fraternizing with guests. So, will there be any immediate response to defend Jamaica's image?
The immediacy of the action would be as a function of a knee-jerk response. Remember, the story is written based on activities over the last 7 years. So it's a perception which we are working through.
The article also listed a mentally handicapped woman, an Indiana mother gang raped by 3 Cuban soccer players in a resort bathroom stall, and the 2 Detroit mothers raped at gunpoint in their room at the Rio Reggae Hotel in Montego Bay, St. James. In 2017, Jamaica was ranked 3rd behind Egypt and Morocco among the most dangerous countries for female travelers by Skyscanner, a California-based travel research company.
Staying in Jamaica, National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang has announced that government will be implementing several measures in response to the spate of deadly attacks on children and the elderly. Speaking in the House of Representatives on Tuesday, he disclosed that, among other things, his ministry has expanded the scope of its partnership with Crime Stop to include a special reward scheme to improve investigations into the murders of vulnerable individuals. At least 38 children have been killed in Jamaica since the start of the year, and that's down 29% compared to 2017. But that's not comfort for the minister, as we hear in this report from Janelle Precious of TVJ News.
But what's disturbing is the manner in which they're killed. There's a view that the perpetrators are becoming more callous. In response, the government announced plans to improve police intelligence.
The Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Branch, the Criminal Investigative Branch, with the support of major organized crime and anti-corruption agencies, will bring increased focus to investigating these incidents, to identify and apprehend individuals associated with these acts. These branches will work at the Center for Investigation of Sexual Offences and Child Abuse, that will be strengthened to adequately investigate crimes against these particularly vulnerable groups.
Dr. Chang further revealed that a reward scheme has been established for persons with information which may lead to the arrest of criminals. Another government response is to improve and expand social intervention initiatives. To this end, a value-based program designed to effect behavior change among the youth and an anti-violence campaign will be launched.
I have in the past called the brutal acts of violence against women and children shameful and un-Jamaican. I do so again today. I call us as Jamaicans to do better as a people and as a nation. These violence acts must never become a part of the normal. Murder, rape, and abuse of our young girls and boys must be condemned in every family, in every community, in every parish, even as I stand here and condemn it today.
While welcoming the intervention, the opposition challenged the minister to go further.
One of the things that we need to do as a society is to make a study of what are the major contributing factors behind the committing of these criminal actions against our women and our children and our elderly.
In other developments, the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago was rattled by its 8th earthquake in as many days on Tuesday night. The Seismic Research Center at the St. Augustine campus of the University of the West Indies reported that the quake, with a magnitude of 4.4, occurred at approximately 7:30 p.m. at a depth of 10 kilometers. It was felt 113 kilometers west of San Fernando, 86 kilometers northeast of Maturin in Venezuela, and 106 kilometers southeast of Carupano in the Spanish-speaking South American country. There were no reports of damage or injuries. Meanwhile, the country has been told to brace for some severe weather over the next few days into the weekend. The Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Service has put the country on yellow alert and has told residents to prepare for more downpours as a result of the Intertropical Convergence Zone, the ITCZ. In a bulletin issued earlier today, the Met Service said there is a 70% chance of heavy showers or thunderstorms which may lead to street and flash flooding and landslides in areas prone to such. Gusty winds and rainfall accumulations of 35 to 50 millimeters are also in the forecast. The Met Service said the yellow level alert would remain in effect until Friday. The Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management is urging citizens to take the necessary steps to preserve life and property. Rains associated with an ITCZ earlier this month caused flooding, landslides and damage to some of the country's infrastructure. And still to come in Caribbean Newsline, a legendary Calypsonian laid to rest. Stay with us. There's more news after the break.
It's one of the most anticipated events of the year. November 4, get ready for Latin Festival at Friggy Baylon starting at 3 p.m. Featuring out of Puerto Rico, Sun Divas. Out of Sweet Sugar Sully St. Kitts, DJ Elvis. From Jamaica, Romain Virgo. And out of Dominican Republic, El Alpha El Jefe. Get your tickets now at Cajola Cristal Limited, online at latinfestival.net. Avalon Lab in the Sands Complex for only $35 EC until October 28 and $55 after. At Uncle Fats, you can get your VIP tickets for only $320 EC until October 15 and $350 after. Limited amount available. Save the date, November 4. Get ready for Latin Fiesta. Sponsored by Cajola Cristata, Hobson Enterprise, St. Kitts Marriott Resort, Caribbean Cinemas, Stag, and Mojitos La Casa de Albano.
Preview.
Shower in the morning, shower in the evening, or take a fresh at night. Enjoy a warm shower with Solar Dynamics, you feel alright. Comfort, safety, temperature guaranteed. Long service, fulfilling your every need. Take a shower in comfort, no more upstream water touch you. Solar Dynamics is the best for you. Save on electricity, be environmentally friendly. Solar Dynamics is the one for you.
Legendary Trinidadian Calypsonian Winston the Mighty Shadow Bailey was given a musical send-off on Tuesday at the Queen's Park, Savannah. Hundreds showed up to pay their last respects, as we hear in this TV6 report.
The mood was celebratory and more like the Mighty Shadow in concert. Musical tributes from fellow Calypsonians filled the air, from Funny singing Modern Housewives to Mr. Shaq singing Sukuyan. Many heeded the call to wear white, a request from the late legendary Calypsonian. Calypso and cultural luminaries were out in their numbers to pay their final respects to the veteran musician and singer, who was well known for his unique stage performance and all-black attire. Commenting on the turnout, Shadow's son Charlon Bailey said his father died not knowing how many people loved him.
Because under his request, he didn't want tears. Didn't want tears. He never said, if you wear black, you can't come inside, you know. But he wanted white to be a celebration. He wanted me to reflect. He wanted me to remember him, understand by the music, what he do, who he reach, what he say. So I want to tell everybody here, Shadow ain't going. He do too much work to go. Winston Bailey might not be here no longer, but he leave a fella named Shadow for we to always reference to.
In his eulogy, the young Bailey described his father as a warrior who never gave up or backed down.
It's real nice to see everybody out here and getting in that clap and give them a forward and give them a forward and give them. Hey, he leave the earth. It's time for me to recognize the contribution that he make now and stop pretending like it didn't
Bailey
happen.
and his daughter then performed a heartwarming duet of My Belief in remembrance of the mighty Shadow.
I believe in the little children. I believe in life and its problems.
Shadow's longtime friend Upuku Ware called on the Tobago House of Assembly to rename Shaw Park a cultural complex after the mighty Shadow.
Do not name a room in it after Nelson Bailey. The whole complex must be named after him because nobody in artistry has projected Tobago on the international scene as him.
Former President Anthony Carmona, in his tribute, said Shadow was robbed when he received a Hummingbird Silver Medal instead of the Order of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and questioned why his music was not played 24/7 by every radio station following his death.
And this week in Newsline Business, several Caribbean countries have recorded improvements in the ease of doing business.
Newsline Business is brought to you by Solar Dynamics.
The World Bank, which released its Doing Business 2019 Training for Reform report on Wednesday, said several Caribbean countries, including the Bahamas, which is ranked at 118, the Dominican Republic 102, and Jamaica 75, have shown improvements in the ease of doing business. And while the report said this indicates that the countries are getting closer to global best practices, it also stated that these improvements are not translated into improvements in ranking due to the pace of reforms in other economies. According to the report this year, the Bahamas, Antigua and Barbuda, Jamaica and Grenada all improved access to credit information through the introduction of regulations and by improving the functioning of their credit bureaus. Jamaica features in the top 20 countries in the Getting Credit indicator for their comprehensive credit reporting systems and ranks among the best globally in the area of starting a business with a rank of 6, as it takes only 2 procedures and 3 days for an entrepreneur to start up and formally operate a business. The World Bank said economies in Latin America and the Caribbean carried out 25 reforms during the past year to improve the ease of doing business for domestic, small and medium enterprises, adding that the reforms were carried out in 18 of the region's 32 economies. In the Caribbean, the Bahamas improved access to credit by introducing regulations governing the licensing, functioning and regulation of credit bureaus in the country. Paying taxes was also made easier in the Bahamas with an online system for filing and paying value-added tax. Of the 25 reforms carried out in the region during the past year, 7 were in the area of getting credit. The economies that improved their credit information systems are Antigua and Barbuda, Brazil, the Bahamas, Grenada, Haiti, and Jamaica. The region's economies performed best in the areas of getting electricity and getting credit. Obtaining an electricity connection in the region takes on average 66 days, which is faster than 77 days average in the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, that's the high-income economies. However, the cost to connect to the electricity grid in the region remains high, with an average of 946% of the income per capita compared to 64% income per capita in OECD economies. The World Bank said that the biggest challenges for the region are in the areas of paying taxes, registering property, and protecting minority investors.
Newsline Business was brought to you by Solar Dynamics.
And ahead in Newsline Sport, West Indies all-rounder Dwayne Bravo clears the air on his retirement from international cricket.
This hurricane tip comes to you compliments the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency and the Caribbean Media Corporation. Be prepared. Keep a very good supply of garbage bags.
Shower in the morning, shower in the evening, or take a fresh at night. Enjoy a warm shower with Solar Dynamics, you feel alright. Comfort, safety, temperature guaranteed. Long service, fulfilling your every need. Take a shower in comfort, no more ouch with water touch you. Solar Dynamics is the best for you. Save on electricity, be environmentally friendly. Solar Dynamics is the one for you.
Former West Indies all-rounder Dwayne Bravo is rubbishing claims that his non-selection for the current Windies tour of India was the reason behind his decision to quit international cricket. The 35-year-old announced last week as he prepared for Trinidad and Tobago Red Force's semi-final in the regional Super 50 at Kensington Oval in Barbados that he was retiring from the game internationally. TV6's Vinod Nawani has that story.
From international cricket last week, Dwayne Bravo is still going to be heavily involved in the game. However, the focus will be on the shortest format across the globe.
Life continues for me. I just officially announced my retirement, but I'm going to continue to play around the world. I'm going to continue to play for Knight Riders. So, to all my fans, who get scared and think that they will never see me play cricket again, you can rest assured that I will continue to be playing. Just I will not be playing for West Indies, and that's the only thing. But I'll continue to play around the world and in the T20 leagues and try to keep my body fit and healthy so I can play as long as possible.
Bravo says not being on the Windies side for the tour of the subcontinent did not influence him in any way to retire from international cricket. As far as he's concerned, the time was just right.
Not being selected in West Indies team to go to India had nothing to do with my decision because I haven't played for West Indies in one day since 2014 and in T20 since 2016. So not being selected in West Indies team, I'm actually getting accustomed to it now.
Still in cricket, UWI Vice-Chancellor Professor Hilary Beckles, the visionary behind combined campuses and colleges, says the team's success in the regional Super 50 has confirmed the program as the heartland of the West Indies Cricket Academy. He congratulated the entire team after they brushed aside multiple three-time champions Guyana Jaguars by 6 wickets in Sunday's final to lift the trophy for the first time. Sir Hilary said the UWI students have inspired the cricket world of the Caribbean and beyond in both the execution of their victory and in the explicit display of high sporting values and principles. The University of the West Indies Vice-Chancellor declared the CCC team heroes of community and the region. Marooners' achievement was celebrated with an event at the Errol Barrow Center for Creative Imagination at UWI Cave Hill on Monday, which was dubbed A Conversation with the Victorious CCC Marooners and attended by players, family, friends, UWI staff and students. Switching sports now, Jamaica's netball boss is calling for more resources to be made available to the Sunshine Girls if they're to succeed in international competitions. At the same time, officials are praising the girls for stepping up their game in the recent Fast 5 tournament, which they finished with a silver medal. TVJ's Denise Walters reports.
President of Netball Jamaica, Dr. Paula Daly Morris, says the Sunshine Girls must be credited for their hard work in taking silver at the Fast 5 tournament, especially after getting it done with limited resources. The Sunshine Girls lost a thriller 34-33 to New Zealand, who secured their 7th lean on the trophy.
It comes down to resources and being able to finish off the preparation. We really don't have good resources working with, so we're doing extremely well considering. We have a promise of a improved gym, and if we get that, that should help. And of course, to be able to do more pool work, that would also help. So I think we have done really well, Jamaica, based on where we are and what we are using to prepare. So I'm not complaining, and I think the girls are appreciative of the support that we've gotten from the government and our sponsors in general. So I think we all should be proud. We did well, Jamaica. Let's not complain.
Coach Marvet Anderson says there were improvements in the team at the tournament, and going forward, they can only get better.
All in all, it was a good tournament. Coming second at any tournament is excellent. So basically for us, coming second was good enough for us. This time around, we lost the finals by 1, so that in itself is improvement. The last time we lost by 5, so losing by 1 this time I think, is improvement.
Assistant coach Winston Nevers credits the girls' competitiveness and fitness level to play in the 2 series against Trinidad and England prior to leaving for Australia.
To beat New Zealand in the round and then New Zealand, you could see that we was doing something well, and almost all of the teams was equally matched, and so Ms. Anderson says it was a good tournament. I am saying the same thing.
Captain Vangelie Williams says the team was better in this year's edition when compared to last year's.
This year we were more better throughout the rounds than we was last year, even though we won all rounds last year, but like technically in the power play and so forth we were better.
The Sunshine Girls have 3 silver and 2 bronze medals from the tournament, which was called Fast Net from its inception until 2012, when it was changed to Fast 5.
And that's the sport. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing, Inc.
Again, the major developments of this day: Barbados projected to experience negative growth this year. And in sport, former West Indies all-rounder Dwayne Bravo dismisses claims that his non-selection for the Windies Tour of India was the reason behind his decision to quit international cricket. That's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sport around the clock, subscribe to CarnaNews.com. For more of our programming, log on to caribvision.tv and check us out on YouTube. We'll be back here again tomorrow. But from all of us at CMC News, thank you for watching and do have yourselves a good night.